found out about Divide and Dissolve in 2018 in the Auckland City Hall. They stepped out as a duo of drummer and saxophonist forming a heavy noise band that stands for Black Liberation, Indigenous Sovereignty, and Destroying White Supremacy. Their cymbal crashes smashed every eardrum like the vases in the classroom of an angry pottery teacher, and a large rumbling, almost volcanic drone could have melted the plastic cup holding my G&T. Now, here's the catch, mate. They were opening for Unknown Mortal Orchestra, which might have resulted in the most confused sea of plaid flannels that I'd ever seen in my life. Ever since that night, I've been anticipating a new record from Divide and Dissolve, which you'll be astonished to discover aren't actually the names of either musician. Takaya Reid and Sylvie Nahill have summoned from the fertile earth the album Gaslit, an album that aims to affect bodies, leave your teeth rattling and feeling like an array of flapping doggy doors. Then the bass frequencies strong enough to make you regret quickly downing spoonfuls of that korma-soaked basmati rice earlier in the day. At the end of opening track Oblique, the volcanic scope of the noise is wistfully softened by the ghostly saxophone squalls, reminding me of the way that Korean band Jambanai would manage to channel the anger underneath the earth's crust by pairing the heavy, brooding sound of metal with something more typically serene, like a high geum, or in D&D's case, the saxophone. It's on track Denial where knowing D&D's mission statement, to divide and dissolve white supremacy, suddenly becomes crystal clear through the music, although it will have already made itself quite clear to you by then, considering that Minori Sanchez Fung has a whole spoken word track before it, in case he might have not yet clutched the memo. The words describe a violent impact that struck history and never stopped germinating all the way through generations, attacking the body and distorting the mind to gaslight us into believing that the way that the world is okay. This itself becoming a daunting question of whether it is too late for us to dismantle what has been infiltrating the earth day in and day out, and telling us that it's not enough to just sit without action. So when Denial kicks into gear with walls of slow, buzzing, sludgy metal, you can just imagine the idealized image of white supremacy rotting away, minute by minute. Through a genre as full-on as metal, let alone murky, sludgy, monotonous surges of it, D&D demonstrate what their hope looks like. And Lord, is this a different take on hope. Imagine hearing it live, I'd start hallucinating. The most impressive part is that it just sounds so empathetic with nature, and I never do forget that. The fact that some tracks end with saxophones sourcing all over the joint reminds me that there are moments on this album for breathing room. But the album does not end with a moment like that. The sludge just fades out into white noise, giving me a pretty good idea of how harsh my ears would be ringing after catching these folks live in some underground bar. It'd be swelteringly hot, suffocating, crushingly loud, and everything jackhammering away. I could shut my eyes and pretend I'm a tectonic plate before shattering into pieces like a ceramic one.